Types of people Stoicism warns us about. 1. The eternal victim. This person refuses to take responsibility for their life. Everything is always someone else's fault, their parents, the government, their boss, or even fate itself. The Stoics teach us that we control our minds, our choices, and our responses. A person who always sees themselves as a victim will never grow, and if you're not careful, they will pull you into their cycle of blame. Instead, surround yourself with those who face life's hardships with courage, and who look for solutions rather than excuses. 2. The slave to emotions. Some people are ruled by their emotions, rage, jealousy, greed, or fear. They react impulsively, saying things they regret and making decisions they later suffer for. Seneca warned that anger is a temporary madness. If you spend too much time with those who cannot control themselves, their chaos will soon become your own. A Stoic strives for calm, reason, and discipline. Choose to be with those who think before they act, who are not controlled by every passing emotion. 3. The manipulator. The manipulator is a master of deception. They pretend to be your friend, but they use your kindness for their gain. They whisper in your ear, trying to control your decisions, not because they care for you, but because it serves their interests. Marcus Aurelius advised us to observe people, not just their words, but their intentions. True friends support you, but manipulators try to control you. Stay away from those who disguise selfishness as concern. 4. The gossip. Gossip is poison to the soul. Those who constantly talk about others, spreading rumors, twisting the truth, are people the Stoics would warn you against. They waste time on the affairs of others instead of focusing on their character. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, don't lower yourself to the level of gossip. Instead, spend time with people who discuss ideas, not people. 5. The complainer. Some people are never satisfied. The weather is too hot. Their job is too hard. Their food isn't perfect. Every day is a list of complaints. The Stoic knows that life is neither good nor bad. It is our perception that makes it so. If you allow yourself to be around constant complainers, their negativity will infect you. Choose instead those who practice gratitude, find solutions rather than problems, and appreciate what they have instead of always focusing on what they lack. 6. The materialist. Some people measure their worth by their possessions. A bigger house, a better car, the latest phone. These things define them. They chase money endlessly, believing it will bring them happiness. But the Stoics remind us that true wealth is found in contentment. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, warned that a poor man who desires nothing is richer than a wealthy man who craves more. Surround yourself with those who value wisdom, virtue, and inner peace more than material goods. 7. The short-term thinker. This person only cares about pleasure today, ignoring the consequences of tomorrow. They avoid responsibility, seek constant entertainment, and never invest in their future. They waste time, energy, and potential. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. A wise person considers the long-term effects of their actions. Avoid those who live only for the moment, without thinking of what truly matters. 8. The hypocrite. This person preaches virtue but does not practice it. They tell others to be honest while they lie. They demand discipline from others, while they indulge in every pleasure. They speak of honor but act dishonorably. Stoicism teaches us that what we do matters more than what we say. Words mean little if actions do not follow. Be wary of those who demand a high standard from others, but do not live by those same principles. 9. The energy drainer. Some people constantly bring drama, conflict, and problems into your life. Every conversation with them leaves you exhausted. They ask for help but never take advice. They always have a crisis, and if you're not careful, their chaos becomes your burden. A Stoic protects their peace. You are not responsible for saving people who refuse to save themselves. Give your energy to those who uplift you, not those who drain you. 10. The arrogant know-it-all. Finally, beware of those who believe they know everything. They reject advice, dismiss new ideas, and refuse to learn. True wisdom begins with knowing how little we truly understand. Epictetus said, "It is impossible to learn what you think you already know." If you surround yourself with those who are humble, curious, and willing to grow, you too will continue to evolve. But if you stay with those who believe they are already wise, you will stop growing. Life is too short to spend with people who drag you away from virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. The company you keep shapes who you become. The wrong people weaken your character, but the right people strengthen it. So, I ask you, who do you surround yourself with? Are they helping you grow or holding you back? Are they leading you toward wisdom or deeper into chaos? Choose wisely. Your peace, your mind, and your future depend on it. Stay strong, stay mindful, and keep walking the path of wisdom. Life is a journey filled with trials, temptations, and tests of character. Along the way, we will meet many kinds of people. Some will lift us, while others will pull us down. The Stoics, through decades of reflection and experience, have warned us about certain types of individuals who can disrupt our peace, weaken our resolve, and lead us away from virtue. If you wish to live a life of wisdom, clarity, and self-mastery, beware of these people. The power of choosing the right people. The people around you are not just bystanders in your life. They shape your thoughts, habits, and destiny. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that the mind is like a sponge. It absorbs the energy, ideas, and behaviors of those it spends the most time with. If you surround yourself with negative, undisciplined, or deceitful people, no matter how strong you think you are, their influence will eventually seep into your character. But if you keep the company of wise, virtuous, and disciplined individuals, their presence will elevate you. Here are 3 final Stoic principles to apply when choosing the right people in your life. 1. Examine character, not just words. It's easy for someone to say the right things, but actions reveal the truth. Watch how people behave when no one is watching. Do they practice what they preach? Do they live by the principles they claim to believe in? Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. If someone's actions do not match their words, do not trust their words. Be with people whose behavior reflects their values." 2. Find those who challenge you to grow. The best people to have in your life are not just those who make you feel comfortable. They are the ones who challenge you to become better. They hold you to a higher standard, not with criticism, but with encouragement. Seneca wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you can improve." A good friend should challenge your weaknesses while supporting your strengths. Avoid those who only tell you what you want to hear, but never push you toward growth. Three, learn the art of letting go. One of the hardest things in life is to let go of people who no longer serve your growth. We hold on to relationships out of habit, guilt, or nostalgia. But the Stoics remind us, everything changes. You will lose everything you cling to. Choose wisely what you hold on to. Not all friendships are meant to last forever. Some people come into your life to teach you a lesson, and once that lesson is learned, it is okay to move on. You owe it to yourself to protect your peace and growth. Life is too short to spend with those who drain your energy, pollute your mind, or lead you away from wisdom. Be intentional with your relationships. Choose your circle carefully. Invest in people who align with your values. And most importantly, become the type of person that the Stoics would respect. Live by your principles. Inspire others through action and embody the wisdom you seek in others. That is the true Stoic way. The silent influence of those around us. One of the greatest deceptions in life is believing that we can stay unaffected by the people we surround ourselves with. We think, I'm strong enough to be around negative people and not become like them. We assume, I can handle toxic energy without it influencing me. But the Stoics warn us, this is a dangerous illusion. Human nature is deeply influenced by the environment. Even the sharpest blade will rust if left in water too long. Even the strongest mind will weaken if constantly surrounded by pettiness, greed, and deception. Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you spend your days with those who complain, you will start to complain. If you surround yourself with anger, you will become quicker to anger. If you engage in gossip, you will start seeing others through the eyes of judgment. But the opposite is also true. If you spend time with disciplined, rational, and virtuous people, their presence elevates you. This is why choosing the right people is not just a suggestion, it is a necessity. The most dangerous type of person. Among all the people the Stoics warn us about, there is one type that is more dangerous than all others. It is not the manipulator. It is not the gossip. It is not even the hypocrite. The most dangerous type of person is the one who is so deeply unconscious that they do not even realize the harm they cause. These people live on autopilot. They do not reflect on their actions. They do not question their behavior. They move through life blindly, reacting to impulses, chasing pleasure, avoiding discomfort, and never once stopping to examine their own mind. These people are dangerous because they are contagious. Their lack of awareness spreads like a virus. They do not mean to pull you down, but they will, simply because they are not aware enough to do otherwise. Seneca warned, fools are those who are ignorant of their ignorance. A fool does not know they are a fool. A reckless person does not see their recklessness. An unconscious person believes they are awake. And if you are not careful, their blindness will become yours. The Stoics do not tell us to hate these people. No, they tell us to be mindful of them, to observe them without attachment, to avoid becoming them. The ultimate test of Stoicism, the final lesson the Stoics offer us about people is this. There will always be those who try to deceive, anger, or distract you. You cannot change them. You cannot force them to see wisdom, but you can master yourself in their presence. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, today I will meet interference, ingratitude, arrogance, deceit, bad faith, and selfishness. But none of these things can harm me if I refuse to be harmed. The true Stoic does not fear negative people. The true Stoic does not run away from difficult personalities. The true Stoic stands firm, like a rock in the ocean, unshaken by the waves. So remember this. Choose your company wisely, but do not expect perfection. Guard your mind, but do not live in fear of others. Lead by example, and let your discipline be your protection. You cannot control who crosses your path, but you can control how much of your soul you allow them to touch. And in the end, that is the highest form of freedom. Think about your current circle. Ask yourself, do they lift me or pull me down? Do they challenge me to grow or keep me in comfort? Do they inspire wisdom or spread ignorance? If the answers trouble you, then perhaps it is time to step back and reevaluate. And if you find yourself alone on the path of wisdom, do not despair. For as Epictetus said, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. The path to mastery is often lonely, but the reward is peace, strength, and freedom from the chaos of others. So choose wisely, stay firm, and walk the Stoic path with courage. The path of a Stoic, walking alone if necessary. One of the hardest lessons in life is this. Not everyone will walk the same path as you. When you commit to self-discipline, wisdom, and inner peace, you may find that the people around you do not share your desire for growth. You will see them indulging in arguments, wasting time on trivial matters, chasing status, and reacting emotionally to everything. At first, you might try to guide them, to share wisdom, to show them another way. But you will soon realize that not everyone is ready to change. And that is when you must make a choice. Do you lower yourself to fit in? Or do you walk alone, holding firm to your principles? Seneca reminds us, the Stoic travels a different path. He is never idle. He is never led astray by the masses. He does not measure himself by the opinions of others, but by the standard of virtue. The masses will laugh at self-discipline. They will call wisdom boring. They will see your restraint as a weakness. Let them. Your goal is not to be understood by the crowd. Your goal is to become the master of yourself. The solitude of the wise. The greatest thinkers in history often found themselves alone, not because they were rejected, but because they chose a different path. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in Rome, spent much of his time in solitude, writing to himself, reflecting on his actions, and guarding his mind against corruption. Epictetus, who started life as a slave, chose a life of simplicity, focusing only on wisdom and virtue and ignoring the distractions of society. Seneca, though surrounded by wealth and politics, understood that true peace comes not from possessions, but from mastering one's thoughts. If you find yourself alone in your pursuit of wisdom, know that you are in good company. The Stoic understands that solitude is not loneliness. It is an opportunity to think clearly, free from the noise of the world, an opportunity to develop discipline, unshaken by the opinions of others, an opportunity to build a fortress within the mind, one that no outside force can breach. Strength through adversity. Even though the Stoic may walk alone at times, he does not become bitter. He does not resent others for their ignorance. He does not see himself as superior. Instead, he understands that every person is on their own journey. Some will remain trapped in their emotions. Some will chase pleasure and status. Some will never seek wisdom at all. This is neither good nor bad. It simply is. The Stoic does not waste time trying to change people who do not wish to change. He does not argue with fools. He does not chase approval from those who do not value discipline. Instead, he focuses only on what is within his control, his own actions, his own thoughts, and his own character. If you strip away the noise of society, the distractions of entertainment, the opinions of others, what remains? You, your thoughts, your habits, your values. The real test of a Stoic is not how he deals with others, but how he deals with himself. Can you sit alone in a quiet room without reaching for distractions? Can you control your emotions even when no one is watching? Can you live according to your principles, even when it is difficult? These are the tests that determine whether a man is truly free. For the greatest prison is not one of walls and bars. It is a mind enslaved by desires, emotions, and the need for approval. But the greatest freedom? It is a mind that belongs to itself. In the end, you must decide, do you follow the crowd, seeking comfort in numbers? Or do you walk the path of wisdom, even if it means walking alone? The choice is yours. And as the Stoics remind us, true strength is found not in avoiding hardship, but in embracing it with courage. So stand firm, walk your path, and let nothing shake your inner peace. The burden and freedom of responsibility. A Stoic does not blame others for his misfortunes. He does not point fingers at society, family, or fate. He understands that his life is his responsibility, his failures, his successes, his mindset, his actions. It is tempting to seek someone to blame. It is easy to say, I could have been more disciplined if only my friends were more supportive, or I would be wiser if I had better teachers. But these are excuses. Epictetus reminds us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. No one is coming to save you. No one is responsible for your self-mastery, but you. This realization can feel heavy, but it is also liberating. It means that no matter where you started, no matter what hardships you have faced, you still have the power to shape yourself into something greater. The Stoic takes full responsibility for his mind, his choices, and his future. Discipline. The gateway to freedom. Many people believe that discipline is a burden, that it restricts life, making it dull and rigid. But the truth is the opposite. Discipline is the only true path to freedom. Without discipline, a man is a slave to his desires. He eats what his cravings demand. He wastes time on distractions. He reacts emotionally without control. He follows whatever impulse pulls him into the moment. But the disciplined man, he eats with purpose, not for pleasure alone. He chooses where to direct his time, rather than being pulled by distractions. He controls his emotions, rather than being controlled by them. Seneca warned, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his power." A man without discipline is owned by his urges. A man with discipline owns himself. Indifference to praise and criticism. Another lesson the Stoics teach us is this: do not live for the approval of others. Many people spend their entire lives trying to be liked, trying to impress, trying to avoid criticism. They shape their decisions based on what will get them admiration. But the Stoic knows this is a trap. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The opinions of others are outside of your control. Some will praise you today and curse you tomorrow. Some will misunderstand you no matter what you say. Some will never approve of you, no matter how much you try." A Stoic does not chase validation. He does what is right because it is right. He follows virtue, regardless of who is watching. If you live for praise, you will suffer when it is taken away. If you live for principle, you will be unshaken in all conditions, preparing for the unavoidable. The final lesson is this: hardship is coming. Be ready. Most people live in fear of suffering. They hope that difficulties will never come. They cling to comfort, trying to shield themselves from pain, loss, and misfortune. But the Stoic does not hope for an easy life. He expects challenges. He prepares for struggle. He trains his mind to remain steady, no matter what comes. Epictetus advised, "Difficulties show a person's character." So when trouble comes, remember, you were training for this: the loss of loved ones, the failure of plans, the betrayal of friends, the uncertainty of the future. These are not possibilities. They are guarantees. They will come. But the Stoic does not panic. He does not curse fate. He does not crumble under the weight of difficulty. Instead, he sees hardship as a training ground, an opportunity to prove his strength, to refine his discipline, to test his wisdom. And because he expects it, he is never caught off guard. The unbreakable mind. The ultimate goal of Stoicism is not wealth, power, or even happiness. It is freedom. Not freedom in the sense of luxury or travel. Not freedom in the sense of doing whatever you want. But freedom from the chains of the mind. The chain of fear. The chain of anger. The chain of desire. The chain of ego. Most people live in these chains without realizing it. They are controlled by their emotions, by society's expectations, by their weaknesses. The Stoic, however, is free, not because he avoids struggle, but because he masters himself in the face of it. His peace does not depend on circumstances. His happiness does not depend on others. His strength does not depend on easy conditions. He is unbreakable because his mind belongs to him. And that is something no one can take away. A final reflection. If you take nothing else from this, remember this: you become like the people you surround yourself with. Choose them wisely. Discipline is not a burden. It is the path to true freedom. Never seek the approval of others. Live by your principles. Expect hardship, and be ready when it comes. Your mind is your kingdom. Rule it with wisdom, and you will never be a slave. This is the path of the Stoic. This is the path of true strength. This is the path of freedom. Now the choice is yours.